What's going on, Juneteenth family?
I have to take the lead because if I don't now, when will I do it?
These are all dance groups mixes from since 90.
And risks are important. Risk creates results.
Make sure that you surround yourself with not only the word, but with positivity.
Foremost, for having me on for lunch and learn.
We start off by wearing all of the hats. Pun intended right there on the hats.
We start special needs children and civilians. I have over 30 years plus experience as a quality professional.
We basically reconstructing what we took part in deconstruct. All of street maintenance. That's how we came up with street maintenance.
I almost had to deal with MCA records at the age of 19.
Wait
I also partner with other daycare. We're not in a competition yet. We're not in a competition.
What's going on, Juneteenth family? Welcome to another edition of the Lunch and Learn session. I am your host, Kiara, aka MBG. I am excited to be here with you all because today, it's always special. As I always say, we're celebrating National Poetry Month, and it wouldn't be right if I didn't have this person on this show this month specifically. Who am I talking about? Talking about one of the illest in the game to ever do it. I'm telling you this right now. After we have this conversation, you're going to understand exactly why I said so. Alia Pierre-Cranston, I am super, super, super excited to sit across from her today. She is multi-talented. I'm talking about an MC. I'm talking about a choreographer. I'm talking about an actress. I'm talking about a director. I'm talking about a writer. I'm talking about just the dopeness just continues to go on, all right? A winner of the Hip Hop Film Festival in 2018. I can't wait to talk to her about that. She's transitioned from the classroom. She's been in the classroom teaching our scholars for about 10 years. Now she's in front of the screen, tearing it up. So much dedication, so much work, so much just love that she pours into everything she does. I am excited to bring Alia up to the stage. Can we bring Alia up? Yo, what's up?
Look, with an introduction like that, I feel like I can conquer the world.
I'm just speaking the truth. I'm just speaking the truth. I'm happy to have you here. How you feeling today?
I feel great. Thank you for having me. You know, I always appreciate sharing whatever platform it is with you. I've been supporting so long, and I'm just so proud of you. This is amazing.
Listen, it goes both ways here. It goes both ways here. When I think about you and I think about, just friendship and really being excited to see your friends shine, it's always, anytime I see you doing something, anytime I see you posting something, anytime, it's all the excitement I feel is real and it's pure. So I'm excited for what we have here today. Before we jump into it, because I got so much to talk about, just give us a little background. Who is Alia? A little bit of your upbringing, and how do we get the Alia that we sitting across from today?
Well, I always have to say I am from Brooklyn.
Come on now.
Always, all day, every day. No, honestly, I've been a creative all of my life. When I was younger, I was a dancer, danced in school all through college. Then I transitioned into writing. I kind of played around with writing in middle school, and then I got serious about it when I graduated college. And then I realized, no, I really love acting. And so I started doing that with the kids. And for me, it's just all about constantly reinventing who I am to fulfill whatever purpose it is that I feel like I need to fulfill.
Yeah. And I was reading something yesterday. I think it was in if I'm not mistaken, I think Harper Magazine, but it was just talking about the idea of possibilities, right? And I wrote this down, that the idea of possibilities are endless when you experiment within your levels of full creativity. And I thought that it was a perfect fit for this conversation because as an innovator, as a creative, I want to start in the creative process. What's the most important part of innovation to you? How do you how do you get in that creative mode? Is it a creative mode, or is it just constant, just this is just what my brain does? Like, how does that look for you?
What's crazy is when it comes to writing scripts, writing plays or films, I'm always in that space. I really pull from inspiration, everyday life, my family, my wife, my kid, my dog. Like it's just always there. When it comes to writing lyrics, I always get that block because I need to be in the space to create music. And it's the same with dance. And so I can say that when it comes to film, that is literally the only thing that I constantly have that passion for. And that is how I knew that was the lane that I wanted to go in.
I was gonna ask you about that. I'm like, yo, just to be able to dominate in so many different fields as a lyricist, and we're gonna touch on, because I broke it down into film, into music, but as a lyricist, as an artist, as an actress, as a screenwriter, choreography, just directing, what's your favorite version of you, and how do you even choose between the two? I mean, well, not the two, but the group. But I mean, you kind of answered it just now, but let me hear, what's your favorite version of you?
I truly believe that my favorite version of me is when I am creating with the kids. I'm able to literally put all three of those things into one. So, I will put on these huge musical performances, theater performances, and they were dance and they were rap. And I just felt so wholesome watching them flourish and do what they love to do. And so that is when I feel fulfilled. That is when I know that I am doing God's work. And that is when I feel like I can really make a living out of it.
Talking about teaching the youth, huge part of your journey. And even with my experience with working with kids, I always say that it just gives me a chance to see a reflection of who I was at this time, and for you particularly, being able to give them this outlet to shine, and just being an example of what that looks like, and being a cool teacher, being able to relate to them in a way of, their language and what's comfortable for them. Let's talk music, let's talk dancing, let's talk, talk acting. What would you say the kids taught you most about your own skill set in this industry?
Don't doubt myself. Don't play small. There were so many times when I'd come to them literally a month before a show, and I'm like, y'all, we literally only have a month. Yeah, I got 7 dance routines to learn. I don't know if we could do it. Like, what? And I'm talking to 3rd, 4th graders. They're like, what? What you talk about? And when I tell you, I'll talk to my wife like, Naima, if I pull off, I'm going to really have the confidence. And I say this every time, like, but it always works out. And they show me that I have to do it big every time.
Every time. And talking about big, y'all had a premiere at the Magic Johnson Theater. Like, these are things that's unheard of in our time of, like, how does things like that even happen? Like, I know that was a super huge night, and just huge for the kids to be able to share amongst themselves, amongst their peers, and especially with their families. But the work ethic and how do you put on a production, and how do you get that to premiere at the Magic Johnson Theater?
Well, you see, it wasn't supposed to be there. Initially, it was a theater performance, but theaters were out here charging like $12,000, and my school wasn't trying to fund it. It always goes that, not having the funding, not having the money of my own to be able to allow these kids to shine. But I knew they needed to shine. So I'm like, you know what? Y'all, we about to film it. I'm gonna find a videographer. I'm gonna tap in, and we're going to get this done as a film. And so I called up Magic Johnson Theater. I'm like, yo, I have a showcase. I really want to premiere it. How can I rent out an entire theater? Like, we need to get it done. Told the school what my plans were, told them I needed the money. And then from there, I made it a red carpet event, had the kids dressed up, and it was just amazing, and it felt really, really good. A lot of times I'm dealing with the students who never want to go to class. They never want to do work. They're getting suspended every week. And so to see them shine in a different light, it just really makes me feel great.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was my next initial question of like, what's the biggest change you see amongst the students themselves when they're able to be in this light? And just like you said, it's the transformation of watching a kid go from being one person to who they truly, have the potential to be.
Yes.
For sure.
Seeing that confidence, the dedication. We would have rehearsals on weekends. And they would be there bright and early, sometimes before me. Sometimes I would show up to work at 7 a.m. and they would be there like, oh, Miss Pierre, we want to learn this. And I'm like, it's 7 o'clock, y'all. Like, but just seeing that dedication and that motivation from them, they're learning their lines on their own.
Yeah.
Accountability, man. A lot of adults, a lot of us don't have that. And they were able to have that discipline. It worked out.
Huge words right there: accountability, discipline. That's real, in our own everyday lives as adults. It's challenging to sustain certain, work ethics and habits, and to be able to just continue to keep going. I believe, transitioning into film a little bit now, I believe that the power that's held by a visionary is in creative, it's unmatched, because your dreams, your imagination, your vision could take you wherever. Like, it's endless. It's no to that. Like, you can't tell me what can't be done. It just, I always love that Jay said, don't impose your no on me. You couldn't do it, I could do it. You know what I'm saying? So just getting into that creative mode. What do you do to kind of like, okay, you know what, let me just relax and figure this out? Or when writing, I heard you say that, when you're writing, it is just flowing. How do you know, like, okay, I'm in this mode now, I feel a whole production coming on, or I got a story to tell? What inspires you to get there?
I think just thinking about how badly I want it, and thinking about how badly I want to create opportunities for other people. And I want these voices to be heard. I want this story to be shared because I know that other people can relate. I think that is what motivates me. It's crazy because a lot of my thoughts come in a shower or literally in the middle of the night.
Come on.
I'll jump up out the bed at 2 a.m. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta write this down. Yeah. So the fact that, God just plants these ideas in my head. I'm like, yo, these are $1 million ideas. And I know they are because they come straight from him. And so knowing that, I'm just like, yo, I gotta do something with this. There's no way that I was blessed with all of these gifts and all of these talents. And I've been hearing all of my life, like, yo, you dope, yo, you nice, yo, you this. And I'm in a position that I'm in. You get what I'm saying? So I think that right there is the motivation for me.
The reflection right here. And this is why me and you always, because the reflection, everything you're saying is so transparent to my life of what it really is. So when you're able to connect with somebody and share, just as a visionary or as an entrepreneur, of what it really takes, and the hunger that it never dies. Like, literally, I don't go in the shower without taking my phone and having it like right on the stage, right out, because I don't know what it is about the hot water in your. I don't know if it's just like it really the shower really bursts so many amazing ideas, and I'm like, okay, hold on, hands wet and everything. Gotta write it in the notes real quick or say it real quick, but. In those moments, I think that's just like you said, the reassurance that I'm the chosen one. I am the one for the job. And even in knowing that times of where you may feel, because it's not always easy sometimes. I know the blockage of like, why isn't everything just working smoothly as I may want it to be, or why, just like you said, it's pulling teeth with finding funding, or just being able to, okay, I need this, or I need this person, or I need to be able to connect with that. It's loopholes and jumps that we got to get through. How do you navigate through those challenging moments, and how you manage to block out the outside noise when you got to hone in on your craft and stay focused? Because I hear you often, you're like, yo, I'm off of this for this amount of time. How do you manage to do it? How?
Look, I had a praying grandmother.
Come on.
You feel me? If you ain't cop that book, go cop that book. But my girl, nah, but I know how to pray. And I think that's very important to do. Just tapping in, separating. Like you said, I'm very big on deleting social media. Like I feel a deletion coming soon. Like just getting away and being in solitude and really doing the work so that you can hear whatever messages you need to hear. And to be honest, it's very hard. I will say that my wife, man, that is my accountability partner all the way. She just sees everything. She sees the bad side. She sees the dark side. And a lot of times I have to really process things with her. Like she's just that soundness for me. So I honestly don't have the answer other than I just pray really, really hard. And I have an amazing support system who understands what I need when I need it.
Yeah. And that within itself, support, people don't understand how far support takes you. Huge shout out to Naima. I always see and I always love that just from afar, the complementary bond that you guys have. Just like you said, she could see things in you, it's a balance of, all right, cool, I need to be able to tell you when you need this done, or I need to be able to help you in these areas. So that's a blessing within itself. And of course, prayer, that's the beginning of everything. How do you well, I don't even want to say how do you pay it forward, because I already know how you pay it forward, but just your support and just surrounding others as well. It's almost full circle, if I may say that for you. But how do you feel about support and just the loyalty of your circle around you, just to be able to enhance what you do?
Loyalty is big for me. I have a solid core of supporters, like chosen family who, when I say they hold me down, I honestly am so blessed. I don't want for anything. Like and I hope that they feel the same about me, but they're always pouring into me and making sure that I'm good and making sure that I have what I need, because there are times where they honestly believe in me more than I believe in myself. My son is also, he's about to be 10, and he also has that vision. He's like, I know you're going to do this. I can't wait to see you here. And that's another level of accountability. It's Absolutely. Like, I have this little person looking at me like I am some type of, I don't want to say a god, but
Pharaoh,
that level, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I got to make this happen. Like I don't care what it takes. I have to make it happen. So support is big. And if I didn't have that support, honestly, I wouldn't be where I am. And I'm just keeping a buck. I would not be where I am. I would not be who I am. They hold me down.
That's love. That's love. That's love. And big shout out to my boy. When I see him doing his, first of all, just growing so beautifully and just doing his thing. But when I see him playing the keys, or when I see him balling or something like that, it's just like, this kid is amazing. And he gets that greatness from you all. It just, that same armor of, I could do this, and that's what our kids need. And we are the example. We're always the first example of what they believe and what they see. So, just congratulations to y'all on just continuing to do an amazing job at that. Let's talk Hip Hop Film Festival.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
Let's go Road to Redemption. Take me there. Let's go back to Road to Redemption. How do you even come up with where do we start here? How do we, before we even get to the Hip Hop Film Festival, how do we start with this idea? Just take me back.
That is a throwback. Well, I can say it started with me trying to figure out how to break into the film industry. And that in and of itself is difficult. It's like trying to get a job in these streets. You know, if you don't have the experience on your resume, ain't nobody looking for you. They ain't checking for you. If you don't have a manager or an agent, you don't know where to go about finding auditions or how to even get there. So I had to open the door for my damn self. Like, I'm like, what do I do good? What do I do well? I make music. I dance. I'm like, all right, cool. I can act. So we're going to put all of this in one. We're going to make a music video and we're going to turn it into a short film. Called up my peoples like, yo, my videographer at the time. I called him up like, yo, this is what it is. I have a clear-cut vision. I know what I want to do for I have the idea in place for every single video. Mind you, I had written a song a few years prior. Like I was just sitting on the song, recorded it, all of that. And so called him up. He was like, I bet, let's go. You were one of the people who I called up. Yo, need you in a video, make it pop.
Absolutely.
And it literally just worked out like that. Again, I called up my supporters and it was all on board. Everybody was on board. We made the video and then I started researching festivals. Where can I enter this? Came across the Hip Hop Film Festival. My film was selected. She called me immediately. Like, I need you. Like, this is fine. This is great. But there was an issue. The music the beats weren't original. So she was just like, you're gonna have to pay for it to be the licensing and everything. And I'm just like, I don't have that money. Like I can't. She's like, say less, I'm gonna figure it out.
Fire.
And it all just took off from there. It all just took off.
Crazy.
I'm like, yo, and I thank that platform because they have been calling me. Like when I tell you, she has provided me with so many opportunities till this day. Like I just spoke on a panel the other day with women who are in the industry, open another door. And it's just like, this is really dope.
And it starts with an idea, it starts with just as simple as you said, an idea. And I love that. And first of all, anytime you call, I'm there. But I love that you always involve the people around you, even if it's something as small as, yo, I just need you to come through and walk through, or I need you. It's a collaborative effort. And that just means, it just shows character within itself of, who you are and how you move and what you do. But just the concepts and the ideas and the themes and the covers and the genres, and it's just like, okay, who is this person and how did she even think about how did she even think about doing the cover to this, or how did she even how do you remix these ideas and create these stories of is it just, do you write first, or if you write at all, is it like, all right, cool, you know what, I think I'm gonna put this to this beat after, or is it like you hear a beat and you like, let me just go, like what is that like?
I know. So I grew up in church. I'm a church girl through and through. And that has a huge, it plays a huge part in a lot of things that I do and a lot of things that I create. And though I'm separate from it now, as I'm older, I still see a lot of the influence in it. And so I'm creating, something from church is in the back of my head. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's something. And then I'll build off of that. I'm like, yo, how can I emulate this experience? Like, I can't explain it. I don't know if I'm doing it justice, but
no, that makes sense though.
yeah, it's crazy. It literally I'm like, how can I make people feel like they just went to church? It's crazy. And so that's literally what I'm sitting there thinking. And then it's like, I'll get a whisper. It's like, say it like this. Like, oh my God. Okay, cool. Like add character, because you know me personally, and I'm goofy. Like, I play a lot. And so in my music and in my styles and the way I rap, there's a lot of character. There's a lot of animation. Like, it's just me all the way.
Absolutely.
And so that's literally the process. Like, I'll just be sitting and I'll hear something and I'm like, yo, that's funny. And I'll just keep building off of it. And that's literally how it goes. And then I'll find a beat that it could go with. Or if I hear a beat first and I just start freestyling a little bit, I can't freestyle, but a little freestyling to come from it, yo, I could write this down. And then I just build it from there. So that's literally how it comes about in the most orthodox way.
And that's it, some of the best things in life. I think they just come in that way, in an unorthodox way. And that's so funny because my brother says that about me, like, yo, she got some unorthodox kind of way of getting there, but it just all come together. Like, it's not gonna make sense if I try to explain it to you, but let me just do what I gotta do, because then you'll understand after. But just talking about you jumping into character, and this is different. This is what differentiates you from anybody else. First of all, from the first time I heard you spit, I said, okay, we 90s babies, but this is the Lauryn Hill of our era. I don't care what nobody. I'm stamping that because I said so. And
I appreciate.
Like, let's talk about it. Let's discuss this if you want to discuss this. But just metaphorically and your lyrical content of and when you said just now you add church and what you do, just listening to some of the bars you got, it's like, if you don't know, it's gonna go right over your head because you don't know. You're gonna miss it. If you don't know, you don't know. You're gonna miss it. But just being ill in that way, and National Poetry Month, talking about poetry and being poetic. I've seen you perform on different stages. I've had the honor to perform with you and be a DJ, but being able to jump into these characters or to express something in a way that people can connect to it and really feel it, that's a special talent. Like, everybody doesn't have that. You could say something and you could almost say the same thing as somebody else, but the way it's expressed would be taken differently. So being able to do that, it has to be original, and the origin of where you come from with this stuff is just like you said, deep within. I go back and you go back and you visit these places and these moments. I want to know, how do you, and transforming a little bit into the music now, how do you keep a healthy relationship with music? Because hip hop and music in general I always say it's the universal language of the world. Like, if we don't speak the same language, if you put on music, we can all relate through that. How do you keep that relationship healthy, and what do you do to feed that love all the time?
I think because I love all types of music, that is what keeps me grounded. And so a lot of the times when I'm just wanting to vibe out or wanting to ground myself, I immediately go to classical music. That is what, like, I have albums and albums of just classical music. And then, like, so I listen based on mood, I'm heavily into gospel. I can say hip hop is what I listen to least. That's crazy. hip hop is what I listen to least. I listen to pop, like R&B.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that I am too happy of the direction of music now. And it's not so much because of, the topics that they're spitting about.
Mm-hmm.
It's their listeners, and there's no like discretion. There's no, and I get it. I'm big on not censoring yourself. At the same time, it's kind of like, what are we really talking about here?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
my son, when I hear him rapping music, I'm just like, do you know what you just said? And he's
Mm-hmm.
mindlessly rapping along. And it's just like, where's the substance?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I do listen to this to get hype, but
Yeah.
that's all it does. It doesn't feed
Yeah.
me. And I need music to feed me. I can say the last album that I felt that way about was Renaissance, Beyonce's album. Like, I can listen to that forward, backwards. Like, it just made me feel like I was in church.
Uh-huh.
It made me
Huh?
feel alive, and that's big for me. So I think it's very hard to maintain a healthy relationship if you only listen to one genre. But if you bounce around and you pull inspiration from everywhere, I think it's kind of simple. It's kind of easy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have a interesting relationship with music now. As I grow older, I can absolutely relate to everything you just said, because it's not that as a DJ, I have to have an ear for everything. I have an ear for everything. I love music. I just love music. That's why I love my craft so much. But when you love something so much and you see, just like you said, the substance of it shifting in certain directions, and you're like, I fell in love with this because of this reason, and it's kind of losing, its power in those areas sometimes. And I battle with that, because it's like, okay, yes, this is a level of creativity. Yes, everybody should have the freedom to be able to do and say and, act as accordingly as however they want to. But the essence of it, the originality of it, and the history of it, of music in general, we almost have to pay it forward with keeping that alive. And I hear that when I hear you, even if you giving us a minute and 20 seconds on the gram real quick, it's like, nah, let me run that back, because I gotta hear, the true essence of what creativeness is, of style, of let me put that bar and twist the head, give you like it ignites the soul, and like, nah, I'm hyped now. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear somebody still on this level. And being a female MC, I've seen you in groups, I've seen you do your thing solo. I said, how do you, what are the advantages and disadvantages, if any, do you feel it is as being a female MC in music? I'm not even gonna say in hip hop, but in music in general.
I don't think we're always taken seriously.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear people talk about, and I know that we're not taken seriously because there's still comments like, she's the dopest female MC on the radio. Like, you hear that on the radio, and it's just like, damn, why she just can't be dope MC?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of times the only people who they bring up, or the only person they bring up, is Rhapsody. And they're like, yeah, Rhapsody is the only female rapper out who I listen to, who's really spitting. And it's just like, yo, just give me the platform. Like, just, you feel me? Like, just give me a minute of your time. You get what I'm saying? But I know that we're not taken seriously, and I know that it has a lot to do with expectations that they have for us and what we talk about and stuff like that. Honestly, it doesn't bother me much, only because I'm no longer trying to break into the music industry. So it's kind of on the back burner for me, but it does suck for those who are trying to, break in and do their thing. I really do hope it changes.
Yeah. And I love that, your style as, you know, original is it? First of all, fashion killer. Okay, let me just I'm gonna just bounce around a little bit.
Gas me up, man.
Let me talk your itch for you. But and style is so unique to individuality. But just from simple pieces to, you know, all right, cool, let me put together, you know, this fit for this look. And even when you put together certain looks for when you are spitting or when you are performing or when you are acting, how do you like come up with these concepts, and what's your favorite generation of style, if you may? How do we get these fits together? What's the closet search looking like? How you do it?
Oh, I wasn't expecting that one. I think my favorite would have to be the 70s. The bell bottoms, the big hoops. Yeah, the 70s for sure. The colors.
Mm-hmm.
70s and 90s, of course. I'm a 90s baby. So
Mm-hmm.
as far as now putting things together, I really don't know. I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, going back to my childhood, you know,
Mm-hmm.
always being dressed up and stuff like that. I just love to dress. I love style. I feel like I'm able to kind of change my mood when I dress up.
Mm-hmm.
I go outside. Like, so I think that has a lot to do with it. And also my wife will check me if I look crazy in these streets. She's also into style. So I really just
Yeah, y'all pull up with the, you know, the dual fits and the, you know, the you know, it's like, all right, there they go again. They, you know, have to, all right, cool. They doing what they do. So that's
Thank
not
you.
dope. And I think that just speaks volume to just persona, if you may. I already said character, but I think that, and I laugh with my mother about this often, because when we were younger, you know, the kids wear uniform. I mean, the kids still wear uniform now, but I wrote like a 2-page letter to her about why I didn't want to wear it. No, I don't. I get it. I don't want to look like everybody else.
That is
Like,
real.
my love for sneakers has always been pure, but when I had to wear the uniform, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna express how I feel with my kicks, because I'm not gonna have the same kicks on that everybody else got. Or I'm gonna wear a different sweater, I'm gonna wear it this way. So just, you know, I appreciate people that love fashion. And it's to your discretion of how you want to do it. You know, it speaks of who you are. So that's fly within itself. Life. Let's talk about life real quick. Time always go when we having a good time. Let's get into some life things. I said, and I wrote this down because I said in all greatness, balance is a huge superpower, right? So how do you balance all of your talents, all of your work? How do you balance being a wife? How do you balance being a mom? How do you balance just being Alia, along with this platform that you've built? And how does this all work on a daily?
I don't know how it works. I just had this conversation the other day because sometimes I feel so much pressure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm unemployed. So dealing with that. But like you said, I am a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a friend. I'm like just learning how to be a wife for the first time. I've never been a wife. I've never done this. Like learning how to be a mother for the first time. Like I've what is that? Like and just needing my space. You know, we Aries, we just need space. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like I just need, there's nothing wrong. There are times where I just need solitude and I need a bubble to process through everything that life is throwing, because life is throwing some things. and I need to be able to deal with those things. And so I feel like a lot of times I'm just on autopilot. Like I know that I have to keep going. I know that there are people who are depending on me. But I'm trying not to drown. So I don't know how I balance it. It works itself out. It works itself out because I know that I have to keep fighting. I just wake up every day. I'm like, all right, God, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
And it gets done.
Yeah. And I had the follow-up question because it's basically the the self-evident truth of life, just life at some time, right? It's indescribable. And you know, you said a huge word, autopilot. You know, we get in these moods of, I don't know how it's going to happen. I'm trusting that it's going to happen. I'm trusting that things are going to work out. But what would you say is the ultimate power of perseverance for you?
The ultimate power of perseverance. I think the reward that comes. There's something in a reward. There's something in not being able to see a finish line, but knowing that there is a finish line. Because when you look back and you look at all those other times that you were in similar situations and you were really in those moments like, yo, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this. And then a few years later, you're like, yo, I made it out. And you just feel that breath of fresh air. For me, it's the reward. It's definitely the reward. I had a reflective moment this morning because I realized I was having a conversation with someone and I realized that a lot of the traumas, and I hate that word because it's just being thrown around. Everything ain't trauma. But a lot of the traumas and the things that we've dealt with and we're trying to unpack them now, we're trying to deal with them now. We don't realize that we're doing it. Like we're actually doing things differently.
Yeah.
And it feels very uncomfortable to do so. Like I'm the most vulnerable, uncomfortable that I've ever been. And for the life of me, I don't know how I got here, and it's scary and sometimes it sucks, but I am here and I'm doing it. And I'm realizing that I am becoming the woman who I've always wanted to be. And that's the reward.
Yeah.
That's the reward.
That's the most beautiful part of it. I think that just like you said, sometimes even in the transition of us growing through these pains and us growing through these things that's happening, we don't see it at that moment. Like we don't see, okay, this is actually the thing that's going to transition me from this point to that point, you know. But when you go back and you look at it and you jog your memory and you reflect on it, you're like, okay, that happened. You know, I did that happened. And I didn't know what it was going to take to get through that, but I did that and I got through that. So, you know, it's just being there, showing up for yourself. I think that's the most important part. Because I was reading in one of my books yesterday, they said, you are the only person that's going to be there for you. Like you are gonna be there for every part of everything. You can have the support and you can have the love from so many others, but you are the only person that's going to be in your life. So you gotta love you know, you gotta pour into you. You gotta build a relationship with yourself that's gonna be able to, you know, carry you through all these different phases. And just our birthdays just passed and I'm looking at little pictures and I'm like, yo, this little girl had a vision, you know, and an idea, but with no intent of like, okay, I'm gonna do this to get it, like, but it all came together. Like we can't rush the process. It's going to work. And I said, you know, sometimes our plan is not God's plan, and that's as real as it. So the thing that we want to happen in a timely fashion that we want it to happen, it's like, all right, cool. That was good. That was good. A little bit better, and it's gonna be challenging, and you know, we are the warriors for it, you know, and that's just real on so many different extents of that.
You know, to piggyback off
Mhm.
what you said, like, you're absolutely right about timing, because I realize a lot of times, you know, I'm praying for it to be the time. I'm praying for it to be the time, but I'm realizing later that I didn't have the tools. I
Mhm.
didn't have the experience that I should have had to be able to hold on to whatever blessing it was that I was praying for, you know?
Yeah.
And then I realized why I wasn't blessed at that time or at that moment, because it wasn't the time. So
Yep.
time is so big, like understanding how time works and understanding how truly being prepared for something works is key.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's when you grasp that concept, it kind of, anytime I feel myself getting in that anxious mode of like, it's like, hold up, wait a minute. You're not the
Yeah.
one in control. You
Yeah.
gotta feel it's not the time. You're not the one in control. So I pay attention. I think that we all need to just pay attention to those moments of just like, all right, cool, don't rush it. Don't, just chill. Just let it flow, let it be. In talking about time, what would you say is your favorite pastime, and what does Alia's self-care look like? I know you say, sometimes you need your time to yourself, and you just need to, be alone. What does self-care look like, and how do you love on yourself most?
I love TV. I love TV. I love reading.
Mm-hmm.
TV, reading, and my dog. That's it. Like, that's it. Like, give me a good haircut, give me my nails done. You know, I love the pampering and all of the whole shebang. But give me TV, give me a book, and give me my dog, and I'm Gucci. I am Gucci. And some food. I need some food. I'm good. Everything's fine.
That's super fire. Speaking of food, real quick, I know, your eating habits are cleaner than most, cleaner than mine, cleaner than most. How has it always been? Are you a vegan or no? Or you just
I have moments, but nah.
So I just had my first vegan encounter. Shout out to my mom. She took me
Okay.
to the Veganist, which actually has a dual menu of vegan and non-vegan. And I tried the vegan calamari. It was fire. I was like,
let's go. That ain't for me, but let's go. I'm glad you love
it. What's up? But I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. Maybe I could. But just how do how do you stay consistent with health and just wellness and things like that?
Well, back in, I want to say 2017, I had a major health scare. And so that is what prompted me the first time to be alkaline. And I went alkaline, like completely vegan, in 2018 for 9 months. And seeing the transformation with that, like, I was able to come off of every single medication that I was on, no longer had asthma, my lungs opened up, I didn't use an inhaler in the entire 9 months. Like, that right there was me seeing that the medicine was the food. And shout out to my boy Sneeze, because he's the one who put me on to that lifestyle. So then when I started to notice that, okay, I had the tools to heal myself, I went backwards. I started eating the ribs and the pork, and like I started going crazy with it. But then recently, I realized that I want to be here for a long time. I'm tired of having weird aches and pains at 33.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be this way.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I know that I want to be healthier, but I also know that my grandmother is 100 years old and she doesn't even know what a vegan is. So I'm like, there is a balance. Like, there is a balance. I just need to find that balance. And so now it's all about finding balance. And so, like, some days I'll do vegan, some days I'll eat meat, chicken. Like, you get what I'm saying? I'm just making sure in doing so that I'm working out constantly. And whole family been doing their thing lately. We got baby boy working out at least 3 times a week. Like,
damn, push easy on it.
Working out eating healthy, doing the herbs. I got my guava tea right here. Like, just making sure that we are on top of the game. So we're here for a long time, not just a good time, but a long
Hello. And that's most important, for real. Talking about being here for a long time, I want to ask you about legacy, building legacy. And we talked about memories. We talked about, the concepts of the what ifs, and it could have went this way or should have went this way, and just the notion of where our imagination could take us, of where we want to be. What do you focus on most when you think about building your legacy, and what do you think is the path to get there? What do you want that legacy to be?
I think first, it's important for me to do the necessary work and healing that I need to do. I say all the time, like, healing is more than posting candles and sage and saying that you're healing. like I said, you the one that got to work on yourself and be by yourself. And so I'm making sure that I'm doing that work. I'm making sure that with Naeem, I'm asking him questions like, am I the type of mother that you need me to be? Like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? Like, what do you need more of? Like, would you choose me again in another lifetime? Like, really asking, and that makes me uncomfortable asking those questions. Like, but really asking and listening so that I can be the type of woman that I don't only need to be for myself, but for my family. And then in that, we can continue to grow as a family. I do plan to have more kids. And so I want to be healed for them. I want to be available for them. And so when I think about legacy, I literally think of having a lineage of people who are healing, constantly doing work. And we know what it is to do the right thing, not just say that we're doing the right thing, not just say that we're doing the work, but really being healthy out in these streets, mentally, spiritually, physically, all of the above.
So Brooklyn, do the right thing is
period.
Okay, couldn't have said it better, but that's real, and you said something that was ultimate key of, healing is beyond just saying and the cliches of, okay, let me say this and that. Well, that's cool, but the inner work, that's what matters, and asking those questions and having these uncomfortable conversations, that means so much, because those are answers that help in the process of healing. Those are answers that you confront yourself about. Okay, let me fix this, or let me work on this. So that's beautiful within itself. And I just commend you, on taking these strides and leaps of doing what needs to be done. That's just super fire.
I feel with you. It's dripping all over you. I know this interview is focused on me, but let's be clear. Like, you are out here changing the game, and I see the way baby girl looks at you and admires you. Like, you really are out here doing it.
I appreciate you, man. Always love. I say, if I don't, then who will? And that's just the way of life with us that think in these ways. No disrespect to anybody else, but if I don't create this, then who will? I have to. This was set on my heart. God gave this to me personally.
Yes.
This is divine purpose. I
have
to what's for me, So that's just something that I'm just super grateful for, and that I continue to pray for, and I continue to pray that it continues to resonate on all of us, that we just continue to live in our light and our passions. A few questions that I ask everybody before we get out of here. Who is your favorite hip hop artist?
Whoa. I can't say that I have a favorite. Growing up, of course, I went through the whole Tupac phase. But then as you get older and you listen to Tupac, you realize he ain't really a lyricist. He's just a game changer. Like, he I don't think I have a favorite. I can tell you who I listen to for inspiration. Of course, the Kendrick, the Coles, the Jay-Z's. I do love me some I do love me some Nicki. I'm sorry, but Nicki is my girl. I do. I do.
Shout out to the boy. That wrong.
Yeah,
Give me some 09 Nicki. Give me some 09 to 12 Nicki.
Word. So I was on a plane with the ring.
Come on. Come on. We can't. I ain't even gonna start on that. That just take us back to, shout out to the HBCUs, but take us straight back to those days of what was happening on campus and, things of that nature. So I'm with you with that. What does Juneteenth mean to you?
Oh, come on, baby. What?
You see the shirt. July who? July.
Period. I'm glad that we have a day outside of the month. Like, even if it's just a day to recognize our freedom and reparations and all of the above, I'm glad that we as a people are finally just realizing how powerful we are.
Yeah.
And I hate that it has to be a day that makes us realize this, but I love that white corporations are starting to make it a holiday.
Yeah.
And getting the day off. It's very important. It's very important.
Yeah.
I love it.
Absolutely. It's a 3-part question. What's one thing that you feel you owe yourself now? What's one thing you feel you owe yourself later? And what's one thing you feel you owe yourself one day?
Now I owe myself grace.
Yeah.
Later, I owe myself peace.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, I owe myself understanding.
Oh.
Dang, I gotta write that down. Oh my God, hold on, because I really do.
That's real though.
Hold up.
That's real. Grace,
That's
peace,
crazy.
understanding. Yeah. In that order. In that order. I like that. That's real. Yeah. Fire. Wow. What do you want the community to take away from today's session?
Oh, y'all can do anything, man. Like, don't believe the hype of having to follow certain protocols to get to where you want to be. That's a lie. Like, people will lie to you in your face. They will play in your face to make sure that you stay where you are. Like, you were blessed with whatever gift you were blessed with. And it doesn't even have to be creative. It could be organization. It could be whatever it is. Like, make sure that you tap into that, because that is going to be the tool that you need to really to make it through. It's a war outside, y'all. So
it's a war going on outside.
Right. It's a war. It's a war outside. It's a war inside. So just make sure that you are paying attention to the tools that you were equipped with to make it through.
Most importantly, before we get out of here, let me just jump into some PSAs before I thank Lee a million times. Let me get this out the way. All of our vendors, if you're on the call live right now, all of our vendors, we calling all our entrepreneurs, all our vendors. We have a vendor information session that will be going down April 24th. That is Wednesday at 7 p.m. If you don't know why, because June 14th to June 19th is a Juneteenth festival, the 15th annual Juneteenth festival. Gonna be amazing. The 19th is the actual virtual summit. The 14th to the 16th is the festival. Make sure you're there, okay? We have so many different incentives. We have some things that we put in play just for you, but you gotta tune in to this information session, the 24th, 7 p.m. We're looking for some vendors, so make sure you check that out. We got some payment plans. We got things in store for you, so check that out for sure. And secondly, all of our models. If you're looking to strike a pose, you want to flaunt your unique style, all of that good stuff, hair and makeup, artists are needed. Okay, we got a fashion show coming up that will be taking place during the Juneteenth festival. The deadline for the hair and makeup artist is April 30th. Okay, so make sure if you are into these things, you tap in, go to our Instagram, go to our website, juneteenthny.com. Make sure you apply there, and we will definitely tap in with you. That wraps up our PSAs for the day. Lee. Man, oh my God. It's all, we can sit here and talk all day. It's
Always.
like this was delightful to my day. Thank you for your time. Thank you for, just your energy. Thank you for transparency and letting us know that it can be done. It will be done. It is being done.
Yes.
We will definitely, it's always a platform for you to come up here and share what you got going on, share what you're doing. I know you always busy, always up to something. So all you got to do is hit me like, yo, Kia, it's that time. I'm like, let's do it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Do it again. Telling people where they could find you, where they could contact you, where they could keep up with you, all that good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me. I am on Instagram at Alia Pierre-Cranston. You can also find me at my family's page, which is Somebody's Parents PC. It was great being here. I hope that, this was helpful for whoever needs it. And Key, I can't wait to share this platform again.
It's always love. You know that. You know that.
Always.
As we close out today, thank you all for being a part of this. Thank you for everybody in the comments. Diana in the comments. I seen Shay in the comments. Thank you so much for tapping in and tuning in with us today. You can always follow me at FabAndBG on everything, FabAndBG.com. Follow everything I Had a Praying Grandmother and visit that website, IHadAPrayingGrandmother.shop. And that's our time until next time. We got one more week of National Poetry Month. I had to have Lee up here. If you don't know, you better go to her page and check it out. She got some bars. She got everything you need. Until next time, Juneteenth family, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. See y'all next week. We out.
Bye.
What's going on, Juneteenth family?
I have to take the lead because if I don't now, when will I do it?
These are all dance groups mixes from since the 90s.
And risks are important. Risk creates results.
Make sure that you surround yourself with not only the word, but with positivity.
Foremost, for having me on for lunch and learn.
We start off by wearing all of the hats. Pun intended right there.
But we start special needs children and civilians. I have over 30 years plus experience as a quality professional.
We basically reconstructing what we took part in deconstruct. All the street maintenance. That's how we came up with street maintenance.
I almost had to deal with emcee records at the age of 19.
Wait a
I also partner with other daycares. We're not in a competition here. We're not in a competition.